Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. Getting into three new Zodiacs today, two Sea-Chrons and that Skeleton Rainbow Watch. Limited run, they did about 300 pieces or so. They just came out recently. They just hit my store. Except when I did the meteorite video, I told you I would do this one, a little follow-on. So we're going to look at them today for my own wrist check. My first Doxa ever. If you missed my unboxing video, you should check it out. It was just released just a few days ago. What can I say? I'm a tremendous Clive Cussler fan, so this came out, simply had to have it, and I am loving the watch. On my other wrist is my Flightmaster SNA 411 on a Seiko mesh bracelet. It's a bracelet from a Seiko 5 that I modified the end links to make it fit. But just, I guess, a quick side note. I do believe I'm getting a couple more Flightmasters, or a couple dozen, I think, hopefully in June at some point. So look for those to come into stock. Discontinued? Who the heck knows? All I know is I found some more. Anyway, let's check out the Zodiacs. So before we begin, I want to just, kind of just mention, it's not really an elephant in the room because you guys all know what's going on here. I'm holding roughly $25 to $7,000, yeah, $7,000 in watches in my hand. And as someone that generally on the channel reviews watches $200, $300, $400, $500, this is a major step up. And when I look at these, I'm like, well, is one of these equivalent to 10 Islanders, 8 Seikos, 9 Phoebuses? I'm not so sure. And it's just kind of funny that I don't want to lose sight of these things and treat them as commodities because they really are pieces of art. So today we're getting into Zodiac. I mentioned when I did the carbonite, what is wrong with me, meteorite Zodiac video that this one would be coming. So we're looking at two Sea-Crons and the Rainbow. This is a limited edition of, I want to say 300 pieces, I think. What's really cool about this one, not that that's, again, not worth the $2,000, right? But it comes in a cool mock skeletonized box. So I think that was just pretty nifty and important enough for me to bring up. Don't worry, there's no watch in that box that I just tossed on the floor. So why don't we go over the Rainbow first, and then we'll go over the Chronos. So it is a Zodiac, a super Seawolf, as they all are. They're all, almost every diver is some kind of a Seawolf. But it is a skeleton. It's a full skeleton. Let's get the hands out of the way of the logo a bit. And I'll also get my hands out of the back so you can try to see through it. It runs on, actually I'm going to run my hand to the back so you can see the white glove moving. Cool, right? It runs on an STP movement. STP is, if you go high enough, owned by Fossil, who owns Zodiac, etc. An STP 6-15 skeleton movement, 26 joules. Hand winds, hacks. Clearly there is no date. It's just like a 1-11, I would say, except it's got, the bridges and everything else cut out a bit more. And then there's some plating done to the bridges to make things stand out a bit. The rotor is done plating as well. So just, it's pretty to look at from front and back. And as I mentioned, this guy is $18.95. I believe they're limited to 300 pieces. So runs the STP movement. It is just like the rest of the Super Seawolves that are not the pro divers. It is 40 millimeters in diameter. It's 13.6 thick to a slightly domed sapphire crystal with AR on the inside. It is 48 millimeters on the lug tip to lug tip. It clearly is a exhibition case back because it's a skeleton. 20 millimeter bracelet. Comes with a beautiful multi-link bracelet. I've peeled back a bit of the plastic for you to see. And Zodiac does use these awesome spring bars that, I guess it's toolless spring bar changes. You can just use your fingers, like a quick release, and just pop the bracelet out and put on a strap or whatever you want, a leather or rubber or one-piece nylon, etc. 200 meters of water resistance. It's 166 grams on the bracelet. I wanted to show you the clasp. I showed this in the meteorite video. I'm actually gonna, let's focus on the clasp. The clasp has a little bit of give to it, as you can see. So it's not micro adjust, but it's kind of micro comfort fit, right? So if your wrist swells a bit or you bend your wrist, it's gonna open up a bit to give you a little bit more room. It is a screw down crown. Let's see, and then clearly there is a beautiful rainbow styled bezel. When Michael Pierce from Zodiac showed this to me, this is one of those no photo moments when he was in my office, kind of revealing it as a big release for early summer 2023. It is a 120 click unidirectional ratcheting bezel, mineral. I think I might have made a mistake in the meteorite video and saying it was sapphire. It is K1 mineral crystal, but the Zodiac name is done in white ink on the crystal, so it's kind of floating above the movement. Pretty slick. We'll get into the Lume when we do the other two chronos. I'll show it to you all together. And speaking of the chronos, comes in two colors. It's model number Z3604 and 3605. The skeleton was Z09298. Yeah, it was. So 3604, 3605. On this one, I just didn't peel off part of the blue wrapping, but this is the blue dial. I'll show you this one in a minute, but I just didn't want to take off the plastic on all the plastic on the bracelet. By the way, it is a beautiful bracelet, which is why I wanted to remove some so I can show it to you. So these are $24.95 each. Let's call them $2,500 for an automatic Swiss-made chronograph. We're into a Solita SW510 movement. It's an automatic chrono, so it's much like your Valjoux 7750. Obviously, clearly a different subdial layout, so maybe more like, I'm reaching. Is it like the Valjoux 7753 that was done in the arc like this without the day date? I'm pretty sure. It is a thick boy. It's 42 millimeters in diameter, which is fine. It's 16.9 thick, and that's because the Valjoux is a beefy movement, and we have a slightly domed sapphire crystal. In my opinion, I'm sure they did the dome for aesthetic purposes and matching kind of like the Sea-Chron of yesteryear, but man, you could have knocked off half to a full mil by going with a flat crystal. 50.5 millimeters on the lug tip. To lug tip, you do have female end link, so it hugs straight down to your wrist. Solid screw down case back. It is 200 meters of water resistance. Clearly it is, as I said, sapphire AR on the inside. It's a 20 millimeter bracelet, again with those really cool quick release bars. I just want to show you the bracelet. It's really nice, very intricate pattern. What is that, 5 link bracelet. Really nice looking. Different, right? Not something you see every single day. Same Zodiac class double push button butterfly with that comfort extension. Size with screws, solid link, solid end link. The Rainbow was solid link, solid end link too. Size with screws, if I didn't say it, I don't think I did. Water resistance 200 meters. It is a screw down crown. It is not screw down buttons, okay? So you wind it, this movement, I'm kind of going over myself here. The Rainbow movement, 40-ish hours of power reserve. This guy, 62 hours of power reserve. So it's a really, really nice movement with extra power reserve. We'll go over the other stuff in a minute. Screw down and turn. Screw down and turn for your full 200 meters of water resistance. So as a chronograph, means it measures elapsed time. Center seconds is what's going to take care of your elapsed seconds. Right minutes at the subdial into 30-minute elapsed minute counter. And at the bottom is your traditional 12-hour counter. So it is a 12-hour chronograph. After 30 minutes, the hour hand will go halfway between the 0 and the 1, so you can kind of figure it out that way. But it's a very satisfying click to start, a very satisfying click to stop, and a very satisfying click, you got it, to reset. It is a beautiful, wow, chunky bezel. Ceramic bezel. We'll go over the Lume on this one also in a minute, but rotates really well. It's beautiful. So this is the black dial. This is very vintagey feeling, right, with the black and the white. I really feel that this evokes the vintage vibe. Maybe what does it for me is the white, the white rehaut. But then I think this is the one I actually like more. This is the blue dial. So everything about the watch is exactly the same. The size, specs, the movement, everything. The tachometer around the rehaut. Just a nice sunburst blue dial. I think it looks awesome. Awesome with contrasted against the black bezel. And it's a very, very deep blue. So black subdials, you can tell they're a different color, but they really just The whole package just comes together really nicely. Give you a little bit of a different angle there. And there you go. Very beefy. It is beefy at 16.9 thick, but you know, nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. I do want to do a review on the channel of the new Leisure Rally Monte Carlo, whatever, chronographs, excuse me, and they're also right up there with the thickness, you know, 16 and change or so. It's just, again, it's just what we're battling. Let's, I guess we'll do the wrist and then we'll do the Lume. So there I am. Oh, there it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. A 42 millimeter case fits me fine. Even 50 to 50 or 50 and a half on the lug tip to lug tip still fits me well. Doesn't overhang my wrist at all. Plenty of room. Whoops. Plenty of room on the bracelet. If you're wondering why I keep going off camera, because my setup is just a tad different. Somebody mentioned something to me in a prior video, and I was like, wow, you know, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna try it. So it's kind of what I'm doing, but it's making my arm stretch a little bit more. Let's see what the rainbow looks like. So there's the rainbow. I probably should say, so what I did was the camera is closer to me, angled more towards the back to get the lens reflection out, which is why the lens reflects when I when I go deadpan to the camera. But I think this is a good angle, and the person that recommended that, I'm digging it. I think it's working out well. Anyway, but here I am on the rainbow. There I am on the bracelet. I don't know. Is it a watch for me? It certainly is colorful. It certainly is flamboyant. It's interesting. It's just cool. Something different for them. Yeah, maybe not one that's going to, you know, grace my collection, but still looks bad. Still looks not bad. So here is the Sea-Chron. As you can see, the bezel ceramic lit up very well. The dial lit up well. The hands, they do not illuminate the subdials or the subdial hands. Most chronographs don't do that, so no big surprise there. And then here, it's funny, I'm like, oh wait, am I on the top of the watch? I don't even know. So here is the rainbow watch. No, the crown's on the left. I gotta put the crown on the right. So there we go. I can look at the bezel pip, I guess. It's gonna suffer from one of my pet peeves unless you guys can see it. I do not see a way to register the 12 o'clock to north without using the bezel pip or the crown for feel, but it's still very, very, very easy to read. Glows very well. Whoops. Glows well, looks fine. I guess I can't complain much about that. And I think that's going to do it. Take our little party to a close. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, new Zodiacs. Please like the video. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so, I would appreciate that. It's amazing how many people watch the videos that are not subscribers. I looked at that metric recently and blew my mind, if you will. Comments, concerns, anything else, you can leave it down below. I'll be sure to address as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.